NATO is warning that Russia may be poised to send troops into Ukraine. The alliance says Moscow might use a humanitarian mission as an excuse to cross the border. The situation is increasingly tense following the downing of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17. The fighting near the crash site forced another suspension of the investigation Wednesday. CCTV's Michal Bar-David has our story.
OSCE monitors, along with over 100 experts from the Netherlands, Australia and Malaysia, walked the fields near Rozhepnoye in eastern Ukraine, as they once again search for human remains and personal belongings of the Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 victims. Meanwhile, the fighting in Donetsk region intensified. Residents of the city removed debris from damaged buildings and are seen near what appears to be a crater. They believe it was caused by an airstrike by Ukrainian forces. However, the National Security Council of Ukraine denies this accusation.
The city of Donetsk, Luhansk, or any other populated areas were not bombarded by the Ukrainian Air Force. If we're talking about the sound of the aircraft which was heard, yes, there was the plan, but it was only the communication plan.
Despite warnings by President Poroshenko, in Donetsk city, the rebels seem determined to hold their ground. Next to their sand sacks, they take cover, reload their weapons, and fire into the trees. No specific target in sight. As the situation worsens, a humanitarian crisis is feared by many. Residents in eastern cities are stockpiling on food and supplies, some having to stay in bomb shelters or relatives, as their homes have already been destroyed due to shelling. Others choose to flee. The United Nations believes around 730,000 people have left Ukraine for Russia this year. Moscow called for an emergency UN Security Council meeting on Tuesday, where Russia announced it was prepared for the responsibility.
Our country stands ready to undertake this great burden and does not need material assistance from the outside. We stand ready to provide humanitarian assistance to Ukrainians on our own.
With the number of displaced people increasing by the hundreds and the fighting shifting into urban areas, it seems the worst is yet to come to eastern Ukraine. Michal Bar-David, CCTV, Kiev, Ukraine.